Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 9 of the 2022 Velocity Racing League Cup Series. We are here today at Martinsville Speedway for the Old Dominion 250, brought to you by Geezer Authentics. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight. 1080p, 60 frames a second, as per usual. Folks, I hope you all are excited and ready for the race today. Again, this is race number 9 for the Velocity Racing League Cup Series of 2022, as drivers make their way out onto the track and get themselves ready for their qualifying laps here today. We spent a few moments having a listen in with the drivers during their practice before the start of the race here today, and having a look at how some of these drivers are tackling their time here at Martinsville. Definitely seems like we're going to see some interesting action here. Martinsville, one of the, how do I say this in a nice way? Well, I suppose there's not really a mean way to put it, but Martinsville, not exactly a very easy short track to get right. It's, you know, you got nice long straights, but these turns come up on you really quickly, and you have to hit those braking points almost perfectly to be efficient and fast around here at Martinsville. Now, it's easy to be fast, but it's also very easy to find yourself slipping up here, the same as Howie Briss is doing here in the 97 machine as he rounds out his qualifying here today. Taking a look here now at Tony Hilbrands as he makes his way around the track, his second time now as he comes across the line. It'll be his final lap here at Martinsville, as it seems he's going to slow down here. Actually, that was his final lap. My apologies, folks. So, few drivers here already having completed their qualifying here for today. A few drivers still left out on track here with just a few minutes left in the qualifying session here. You can see Cody Miller making his way now. Currently sitting in 10th place, you can see Howie Briss out on the top of the field with a 19.94 as his best time. Nick Nickerson just behind him with a 19.97. And Aaron Smith, the driver who traditionally does not find himself on the oval tracks. He is more, well, let's just say he prefers the road courses that we have here in this series. So Aaron Smith, after a successful race last week, going to find himself here today at Martinsville. As a majority of our field has completed their qualifying here, as it would seem, Ashley Milano going to be completing hers. Actually, this is going to be her second time around once she makes it out of turn 4 here and across the checkered line. Let's see where she places herself. Currently sitting in 6th place. And across the line, she brings herself all the way up to 2nd. She's going to be on the starting row for the race here. That is going to be a great feeling for the 51 of Ashley Milano here tonight. So, just a couple other drivers left here out on track. A few drivers that have not made their way out onto track here today. Ultimately going to be deciding to start from the tail end of the field here for this race. Bill Harkins, James Coulibaly, both going to be left out on the track here at this point in time as they complete their qualifying laps here today. James Coulibaly currently sitting second to dead last here out of the drivers who are making their qualifying run here, sitting in 21st with Bill Harkins just behind him in that 22nd place spot. There is, looks like 5 drivers that have not made their way out onto track here currently, but we will get to them once the starting grid is here and ready for us. With just a minute left here in today's race, I gotta say, you know, Martinsville always poses some very, well, interesting racing. I gotta say, it's always a great thing to see. Really just the racing that Martinsville provides with these cars specifically, as well as even the open wheel Wellen cars that we also have here on the iRacing service. So great to be here at Martinsville Speedway for the Old Dominion 250, again brought to you by Geezer Authentics. Would like to thank them for sponsoring the race here today, as qualifying is about to wrap up here. We're going to see the checker flag fly in just a few moments as James Coulibaly were just following around the 12 machine as he's already completed his qualifying laps here today. Not quite able to get himself up into probably the spot he would want to, but again, Martinsville, just a very, one of those short tracks that's just, it's very easy to feel fast on, but to actually have that race pace, it's a different story. So we're going to see how that unfolds for drivers here today. We currently have a little bit of time here before we see the green flag fly here as drivers get themselves prepared for their drivers' meeting here today. So just taking a look, actually, even right as I say that, we're actually going to be a very short meeting here today for the drivers here as we have our starting grid here and ready for us. So Howie Briss in the 97 machine going to be starting out in first place with Ashley Molyneux taking that second place spot kind of in the last moments of qualifying. In the 51 going to be starting out in the first row here. Nick Nickerson in the number 2 machine going to be starting in the third with Aaron Smith, a driver that we saw last week perform extremely well at the road course. Let's see how Aaron Smith does here today. Starting out in fourth place, rounding out your second row, Cody Welsh in the 85, starting in fifth with Benny Hogan. In the number 5 machine, going to be starting in 6th place here today, Jaden Hopp in the 81. In 7th place, John Barry in the 74, going to be in 8th place. James Miller in 9th place. Tony Hilbrand starting in 10th place. Cody Miller in 11th. Nicholas Lavelle starting in 12th place here today. Scott Shire in 13th. Paul Mikolajczyk in 14th. Garrett Mitchell in 15th. Patrick Colby in 16th. Charles Jurek in 17th. Thomas Sewell in 18th. Sean Williams in 19th. Matthew Fitz in 20th. James Coulibaly in 21st. Bill Harkins in 22nd. Caitlin Height in 23rd. Joshua Brock in 24th. Michael Ashmore in 25th. Steve Ulrich in 26th. Keith Lee in 27th. Woo! 27 drivers here at Martinsville today. And I got to say, that is quite the field, quite the stack of drivers to have here at a short track like Martinsville. So it's going to be exciting to see how these drivers take things here, how this start's going to be with 27 drivers all stacked up on the field here. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a better picture of the field from above, from the Team Goon Squad blimp that arrived this morning here at Martinsville Speedway to cover the action for the 2022 Velocity Racing League Cup Series. The pace car is in. And once we come out of turn 4, that green flag will fly. And you see the flag there, and there it goes. As they come across the checkered line, we are racing here at Martinsville with the 97 of Howie Briss down on the inside into 1 out of 2. Very quick, nice work from Howie Briss. Look at the field right behind him as we continue to look kind of at a wider angle here of the field. Look back behind them, though, as the field stacks up going into 3 and 4. Keeps it together. No one causing any big wrecks here, but right as I say that, who is that all the way back here? It's Thomas Sewell. Having a little bit of trouble here in the 77 machine right out of turn 4 down into the front straight. Let's see if we can get a replay here real quickly. It seems that we are still green flag racing here. You can see Sewell getting washed up out of 4, hits the wall. A little bit of front end damage, but not collecting any other drivers. Everyone else going to avoid that wreck. And indeed, we are going to stay green here, so that's going to put Sewell in a very difficult spot. He's going to be starting all the way now at the back of the field in 27th, dead last in a 250-lap race. But 250 laps is a very long time here, so there's plenty of time to recoup at least some of that and try and mitigate as much as that as you possibly can here. But looking up front, Howie Briss, Ashley Molyneux, Nick Nickerson, and so on, all single file here up in the front of the field, but looking back kind of towards, really ultimately kind of towards the tail end of the field here. James Coulibaly right on the tail of Caitlin Height and the 18 machine here for just a moment. Seems a little bit of separation happening here. A lot of these drivers already seeming to want to take it easy here on the first opening laps of this race. Martinsville, not a whole lot of room here Down the straights, a little bit of a different story. In the turns, not so much. You definitely can't go 3 wide here at Martinsville. It's just not going to work. You might be able to squeeze your way in there, but it's more than likely a wreck is going to come out of it. Unless you're just extremely confident that you're able to come out of it alive. But that's not always the case here. Martinsville has seen plenty of situations, just like I mentioned, where drivers have tried to take it 3 wide, and it has not worked out in their favor whatsoever. But James Miller, though, looking to work his way up a few spots here as he dukes it out with Cody Welsh in the 85 machine up on top as they work their way into turn 1 and out of 2. The 09 of James Miller down the back straight, able to get himself away from Cody Welsh, as now Welsh has Jaden Hopp in the 81 down on the inside. Going into 3 and 4 down the front straight here. The 81 with a little bit more speed. That bottom line seems to be where you want to be here to keep that speed, keep that momentum going here as we continue to look here at James Miller. But look, Thomas Sewell brings out the caution here. Not exactly sure what happened. Let's see if we can get a replay. Down the back straight coming into turn 3. Gets a little bit loose into 4. Oh, the 11 of Bill Harkins also involved there. So not a whole lot of damage to that 77 machine, but that ultimately is going to put Thomas Sewell kind of still in the same spot, and almost seems like he might even be fighting just a wounded car here ultimately. But as the caution comes out, drivers are going to have an opportunity to come down into pit road, at least the ones that have been involved in these incidents, or perhaps want to top off on fuel or whatever the case may be. Right now, fuel windows for these drivers is 140 to 150 laps. So at this point in time, can't imagine that drivers have burned through a whole lot of fuel here, and I can't imagine that their tires are feeling terribly awful at this point in time. But if you're looking at the track here, it does appear that the sun does appear to be setting here, so it might be we might see the track conditions change as the race goes on here. I'm not exactly certain what the time currently in the sim currently is, but for those of you watching at home that might not be familiar with it, iRacing has done a phenomenal job with modeling how tire wear is affected, or really just your grip is affected over the course of time on the track. It's very impressive how well they model track temperatures and so on and so forth. It's absolutely incredible. If you're not an avid well, I guess you would have to be an avid racing fan if you wanted to get into something like this, but if you haven't already, I would highly suggest getting yourself into the iRacing service, as it has a lot of great cars, great tracks, and a lot of great leagues just like this one here that we are watching here today with Velocity Racing League for the Old Dominion 250. Corey Mitchell, I can tell you where Cody is at. Let me find him for you. If you're looking for Cody Miller, he is in 12th place. If you're looking for Cody Welsh, he is in 7th place. Well, I'm not exactly certain which one you're looking for there, but the pace car is down in pit road, and we are about to go green flag racing here once again. Lap 13 of 250, the green flag flies. Howie Briss on the restart here once more. So we watch the field here very, very patiently work their way out of turn 2, down the back straight. Joshua Brock already a little bit of trouble down the back. He's looking the wrong direction on the entry into turn 3. Let's see what happened to spin the number 15 around. Going into turn 1 and out of 2. Oh, gets loose all by himself. Great check up there. Ooh, Thomas Sewell not having a great race here, folks. Thomas finding himself in all kinds of incidents here tonight. I hope that it improves for Thomas here. I'm sure that he's probably not too thrilled with how this race is going here thus far. But that's going to bring out the caution here once again. lap 16 of 250 here for the Old Dominion 250. So our second caution here tonight, and you know, they haven't really been major incidents either. It's so far been single car incidents. We have seen a couple drivers that have kind of bumped into the drivers that we've seen spin out or ultimately find themselves backwards on the track. But point being, we really haven't seen a whole lot of just big-time wrecks here. It's been pretty relatively calm, I would have to say, for these drivers for this race so far. It really haven't seen a whole lot of bumping and grinding, and really I wouldn't expect that. Lap 17 of 250, these guys are going to be, these guys and gals, excuse me, they're all going to be kind of, they're all going to want to keep their car on the track for as long as possible. 250 laps on a short track might not exactly seem like the most daunting task. For a lot of people, you know, it's just turn left. Well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. And for these drivers in this kind of first stint, if you will, because these drivers will only have to come down the pits once. Again, 140 to 150 is our pit window. You know, and speaking of which, they might even come in a little bit earlier for tires, as they do have 4 sets of tires for this race here today. So we might see some drivers come down into pits and get that fresh set of tires a little bit earlier than that 140 to 150 mark. But as the pace car dives down into pit road here once again, coming out of turn 4, Howie Briss, Ashley Molyneux, both going to be side by side here across the checkered line. The green flag flies. Briss down on the inside into turn 1. Ashley trying to find some room to work her way around this 97 that she's been chasing here all race long here thus far. Looking just behind them, it's 2 wide, 3, 4 deep as far as the eye can see. Nick Nickerson leading the rest of this field from 3rd place here right now, as Ashley and Howie Briss both duke it out for 1st and 2nd place. You can see the number 2 of Nick Nickerson trying to do all that he can to get away from these drivers duking it out behind him. And really, right now, Aaron Smith, who's starting to build a little bit of a draft here with the drivers behind him, they're going to track down that 2 of Nick Nickerson very, very quickly. But short tracks, a little bit weird how that works, so might not exactly work out the way that that I am anticipating it, at least. So we'll see how that plays out for these drivers here. Martinsville, again, just one of those tracks where anything can happen. Anything can happen. You take all of your anticipations, all of your expectations, and just throw them out the window. So right now, lap 22 of 250 here after the second caution here already. Drivers getting themselves back and comfortable into their grooves here. And already, a lot of everyone here falling single file for the most part. We've already seen kind of this 2 wide, 3 deep action that we had up towards the front kind of dissipate already. Everyone's starting to fall back into single file here as the 81 Jaden Hopp goes sideways out of turn 3 up to the top of turn 4. We're staying green. The caution is not. There it is. Right as the caution flies. So Jaden Hopp here going into 3. He gets a little loose. Let's see if we can ride on board here with the 81 from the inside. We'll speed things up here a little bit. So here, going into slow motion here, just to give you guys a better view of what happens and what these drivers do. There he goes, trying to correct. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The car is in full spin. He's not able to recover that at all. And that really, as a driver, that's all you can do. Lock up your tires, try and correct it, and get it to spin the other way, or keep it straight at least. Ultimately, that's your goal, is to keep the car straight. But sometimes, as we just saw here, that is not always going to be the case. So, lap 26 of 250 here, our 3rd caution for the race here. And I I'm almost going to say that some of these drivers might be starting to get a little antsy here. They're probably wanting to get some green flag runs here, and I wouldn't blame them. You know, being a driver that going to a 250 lap race and having these cautions come out, not always the most uplifting thing, if you will, here, but that's racing for you, folks. You know, these things are going to happen. It's not always going to be green flag for the entire 250 laps here, and especially when we're on short tracks. That's almost inherently a difficult thing to do. I won't say impossible, because I've seen it happen, but it's not easy. So we'll just leave it at that at this moment. But all of these drivers, every single one of them, all of them doing a phenomenal job in this race here. And if you weren't here at the beginning of the broadcast, too, I was kind of talking about how I was sitting around with the drivers as they were getting their practice in, and kind of listening in here into the conversation, as well as just watching what was unfolding out on track. And really seems like as this race is going to go on here, that tire wear, grip is going to be huge. Corey Mitchell's also in the chat as well with some input in some advice for myself up here in the booth, saying that braking will become an issue here as well. And I would have to agree. At the beginning of the broadcast, again, I mentioned that these have Martinsville long straights, but very quick braking zones here. As the pace car dives down into pit road, we are going to see the green flag fly here once again. Lap 29 of 250 here at Martinsville. Ashley Molyneux, a little bit of trouble, though, as not able to hold onto that second place spot there, as Nick Nickerson was able to squeeze his way down on the inside into 2. Coming out of 4 now, they're going to be single file here up towards the front, and just behind them, Aaron Smith, James Miller, both going to be duking it out door to door going into turn 1 here. Miller on the outside, Smith trying to keep his 4th place spot that he started in here, trying to defend all that he can. Being on the inside, he's got the advantage here. He's going to have a little bit more speed coming out of turn 4, down the front straight there. Great work from Aaron Smith defending. Cody Welsh, though, getting a little bit impatient as he's wanting to get himself up towards the front into the top 5. Cody Welsh in the 85 trying to work his way down on the bottom. He gets on the... Oh, that was close. Gets down on the inside of turn 3. And onto the apron there a little bit. That looked a little sketchy there for a moment for Cody Welsh in the 85. Well, let's actually ride on board here with John Barry in the 74 machine as he comes down the front straight, looking behind Cody Welsh and James Miller as they duke it out here door to door into 1 and out of 2. Welsh doing a very good job keeping this battle going between these drivers here. Barry also doing look at that. Look at how loose that 85 is starting to look here. Oh, very good work, folks. John Barry doing all that he can here in this 74 machine, trying to keep himself tucked in with these drivers here, battling for this 5th place spot. This is some great racing here between these drivers. Welsh still down on the inside, trying to get that 5th place spot here. James Miller just barely holding on as he gets a little bit of traffic. Actually, no, that's not lap traffic. That was just James Miller doing James Miller things. All right, never mind then. But Cody Welsh here is doing, he's able to get himself away from this little bit of a pack that's formed behind him. But look who's also worked his way up into 7th. It's Nicholas Lavelle down on the inside of John Barry. Oh, Cody Welsh almost gets loose out of 4. Oh, right as I say that, Miller gets tapped from Benny Hogan into turn 1. He gets spun sideways to the top of the wall. Oh, no. Miller has got to be screaming at his monitors right now. Let's see what happens here. You can see Benny Hogan there. Oh, you know what? Miller didn't even see him. Miller did not even see Hogan there. I guarantee it. Let's back things up here for just a moment while we have the caution here. And let's actually ride on board. Let me find him. There he is. All right, so let's ride on board here with Benny Hogan. Yeah, Benny saw the opportunity to go down low. And Cody Miller did not even see that 5 come up behind him. So that was, man, for Miller, that's going to hurt. He's down all the way into 26 now. And it looks like we also had a driver that did not start. It was Keith Lee in the 61 machine, not making tonight's race, as it would seem like. But as our 4th caution is out here for this race, I got to say it's been some phenomenal driving for all of our drivers here. And, you know, the incidents that we've seen, really minor, very minor. I mean, as impactful as they've been for the drivers and for the race here tonight, they ultimately have not been big crashes, as we'll say. So, great racing from all of our drivers here today. But right now, between Howie Briss, Nick Nickerson, Ashley Molyneux, I'm kind of curious how this is going to go. Now that we're lap 40 of 250, I'm curious about tire wear. I really also am kind of curious what the track temperature is starting to look like now. The sun is kind of peeking in and out every now and then, so it's going to change very minimally here. But once it does officially go down, and if we do find ourselves under the lights here at Martinsville, I'm not even sure if Martinsville has lights. I'm pretty sure it does. Anyhow, if the sun does go down, track temperatures are going to change drastically, and that means these guys are going to struggle to keep grip. Pace cars down into pit road, making our way into turn 3 and out of 4. The green flag flies here once again at Martinsville for race number 9 of the 2022 VRL Cup Series. Howie Briss still leading this race, as he has done for quite some time here. Actually, for the entirety of this race. Looking right now, Jaden Hopp. Oh, no, we got trouble towards the back of the field, though. That is not looking good for Paul Mikolajczyk. Taking a look here at the replay, coming down the back straight. Oh, gets loose into 3. Oh, drivers trying to check up, also getting themselves involved a little bit there. Looks like the 81 of Jaden Hopp also getting himself tucked in there as well. A few different drivers going to be involved in that wreck here. So that's going to bring out our 5th caution for the race here today. And gotta say, looks to be like these drivers are definitely still just, well, actually, I can't even say that, because these have, a lot of these incidents, these past couple incidents have purely just been drivers just really ultimately sending it. But we're going to take a moment to step away up here in the booth, folks, and when we come back, we will have more green flag racing for you for the Old Dominion 250 for the 2022 Velocity Racing League Cup Series. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and we will be back with more iRacing here on Team Goon Squad.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona's a pit. What is out?
Welcome back, folks. As we come out of turn 2, the lights are off on the pace car. And once we come out of 4, and across the checkered line, the green flag will fly here once more at Martinsville for race number 9 of the Velocity Racing League Cup Series 2022. And here we go, folks. The pace car is in. Coming out of turn 4 here, the green flag is up. And across the checkered line and down it goes, and we are green flag racing here once again. Looking just a little bit back, though. Nicholas Lavelle. That we're locked on here. Oh, who is this getting a little bit loose? I'm not exactly sure what driver that is. I believe that's Garrett Mitchell. Having a little bit of trouble here on this restart. Gets a little bit loose, it seemed like. Coming out of 4. Or excuse me, that was turn 2 last time around. He keeps it together. Lap 48 of 250. These drivers are all over the place here on this restart. And look who's back up into second and giving a little bit of trouble to our leader, Ashley Molyneux. Backing off there as she comes into turn 1, staying behind the 97, not trying to give him too much trouble, and ultimately not going to have the room to be able to really take that position here. So she's going to keep it back behind the 97 and keep building up that speed as Bill Harkins. A little bit of trouble. Brings out the caution here once again. Let's see what happens for Bill Harkins in the number 11 machine. Oh, that looked a little interesting. Coming into turn 1 out of 2. He gets a little loose right out of 2. It smacks the bottom wall on the back straight and sends it into the pits to get repaired. So that's going to bring out the caution here once more. Lap 50 of 250. Our 6th caution of the race here today, and that's it's going to be a rough one for these drivers here, I do have a feeling, but that is a nice view there. You can see the sun setting, and ultimately going to be bringing that track temperature down. And Corey Mitchell saying that if the track temperatures go down, that they might get a little bit more grip, and that is possible. I do agree with that sentiment, but also on the contrary, it might even be kind of a double-edged sword, where if these drivers are really pushing their tires here at this at Martinsville, they might get them too hot, I have a feeling, and might not have that grip that they're looking for. But I could be wrong. I could just could be misinforming everyone, and I do not intend to do that. So we'll see how that plays out, and hopefully we'll get to see these drivers have a solid green flag run. They really haven't had that opportunity here. 6 cautions in the first, really not even the first quarter of the race here. We're still just about, just under the quarter way mark. So these drivers here really hoping, got to be hoping for something to click here for our drivers here tonight. But you also got to keep in mind, 26 drivers that we still have out on the track currently. That's quite a bit for Martinsville. And again, not a lot of room going through the turns here. On the straights, a little bit different story. Through the turns, you're looking 2 wide at the very most. 3 wide if you're maybe working through some lap traffic. But ultimately, these guys are going to be trying to take it easy here. What a race it has been indeed. And yeah, not even halfway, not even a quarter of the way. But the lights are off on the pace car here. You see it diving down into pit road as we come into turn 3. Out of turn 4, the green flag is up. And down it goes, and away we go here once more. Lap 54 of 250, Ashley Molyneux right on top. The 97 of Howie Briss into 1 out of 2. Ashley trying to build up some speed and some momentum here. Going into 3, trying to see what this middle line's going to do for her here. Down the front straight, very good speed here out of the 51 of Ashley Molyneux. But as we've seen throughout this race, that bottom line definitely seems to have a little bit more speed, a little bit more momentum. But Ashley definitely seems to, as this race goes on, it might be changing here. Nick Nickerson, who we saw just a little while ago, was able to get himself up here into the top 3, has now found himself up here even further as James Coulibaly in the 12 machine. finds himself a little loose here. I believe this is turn 3 that he found himself a little kerfluffled in here. Let's see what happened here to the 12. Yeah, going into 3, just gets a little bit loose. And see what'll happen there, folks. And if I'm not mistaken, this is what happened here for James. Going into these turns, I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the broadcast, if you're not hitting your braking points, it's not going to end well. And you're going to end up having to slow that car down even further. And in worst cases, like what we just saw, you're going to end up spinning out. Locking those tires up, not great. So, these guys definitely have to be very, very cautious with their brakes, like we mentioned earlier. So, already seeing quite a bit of that here. And again, we're just about only through the first quarter of the race. So 7 cautions here for the Old Dominion 250 presented by Geezer Authentics. What a race it has been here, folks. It has been up and down, left and right. Really kind of only through the midfield or towards the back. We really haven't seen a whole lot of action here towards the front. I mean, we've had a little bit of battles here between Howie Briss, Ashley Molyneux, and Nick Nickerson, but really, it's been fairly calm up here in the top 5 and almost even through the top 10, you could say. So really impressive driving here for the drivers up in the front of the pack right now. It seems like just towards the back, something's just not clicking for these drivers towards the back of the field, or it just might just, again, just racing. Racing happens, racing incidents always will occur during these events. So, and with Martinsville, it's almost amplified, if you will. But there you see it, the pace car diving down into pit road. Coming out of turn 4, the green flag is up here, and away we go. Howie Briss, Ashley Molyneux, still on. Ashley's been put on this outside starting line every restart here, and really I think that Howie is aware of the speed of that 51, is kind of forcing her hand here. As now Nick Nickerson on the inside in the 2 machine. Oh, we got problems though. Towards the back of the field. Coming down the front straight, there's a few different drivers here with some problems. Let's see what unfolded here. Let's take it up to the blimp. Going into 3. Oh, a little sideways there. I can't tell what driver that is. That looks like Tony Hilbrand's in the 92. Got a little bit sideways here as we're looking at Scott Shire, who also got involved in that incident. So Corey Mitchell here with a couple good points. This race might come down to, to pit strategy, boiling down to who takes 2 tires or who takes 4 tires, going into the final pit stop of the race here. And I almost would have to agree. Going towards the final stint of the race, speed is going to be absolutely critical. You're going to want to have the freshest tires that you can get, and really fuel isn't going to be too critical. You're just going to make sure that you have enough to make it across the checkered line, if you will. So a lot of these drivers here are going to be focusing on just trying to keep it easy here, not really going to be burning through their tires. They don't want to burn through their only 4 sets that they have down in pit road here. So they have to be cautious with those. They have to be very conservative, if you will, with those tires. They don't want to come down every 75 laps to get a set of tires if they can avoid it. But even as I say that, I think actually the pit window might be around that point. We'll have to keep an eye on that, as pit cycles still have yet to come here for our drivers. We've only had a couple drivers that have come down into the pits during our cautions here, and I don't think, well, actually, a couple of them did look like they took tires. Two of them rather, looks like only they took fuel. So a couple drivers here have already come down into the pits to get that out of the way here for the first portion of today's race. But given that we've had 8 cautions here in this race, it almost seems like it might have been not worth it. But I could be wrong. There could be some bigger strategy games being played here that I am not aware of. But we'll have to see as the race progresses, and as the green flag, flies here once again for this restart here once more. Let's kind of take a look back towards the back of the field here, as that seems to be where most of the action is forming at this point in time. Look at this field, though. Too wide for practically the entirety of the field, going back from, looks like, P8. So we work our way into turn 1 here once again. Everyone doing a fantastic job here. Look at all these drivers. We're going to ride on board here with Aaron Smith, and let's take a listen to the inside of the 70 machine of the driver from Hollywood, South Carolina, not Hollywood, California. Let's take a listen to the 70 machine for a couple laps around Martinsville Speedway. Now, one thing I want to mention here, folks, as we're still riding along here with Aaron Smith, most of the action right now still starting to file back into single file, it would seem like. But just paying attention and listening to the throttle input of Aaron Smith here just kind of gives you an idea of what it's like to drive these cars around Martinsville. Now, you can't, I might be mistaken here. It might not be what Aaron Smith is doing here, but it almost sounds like he might be downshifting a gear and going back up one coming into the straight. I could be wrong. I think I am wrong in that assumption. I don't think they are downshifting at all, but either way, how slow that they have to get these cars down into the turns it's absolutely incredible how well that a lot of people don't realize it. And I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, so feel free to listen to some music if you don't want to hear me ramble. But what a lot of people don't realize about racing in general is how difficult it is to slow a car, which right now we're seeing top speeds of about 120 miles an hour. So we're not going super fast here around Martinsville, but slowing these cars down all the way from 120 miles an hour right here, going all the way down to 65 here for Howie Briss into turn 1. Half the speed that you were going in about probably 3 seconds, 4 seconds. I don't exactly have an easy way to show you folks at home watching how much time it takes to actually break that far in speed. But point being, it is absolutely incredible how much control these drivers have over these cars. So, with that out of the way, done ramble over, we're going to go back to the racing here as James Miller down on the inside of Scott Shire, able to get his way up into 12th place here down the front straight here. And again, looking like the field is starting to get single file here as Michael Ashmore. A little bit of trouble here for the 98 machine. The green flag stays out, though. He's going to duck it down to the apron on the front straight, avoiding any other drivers that might find himself involved in a wreck here. But he's going to decide to have it towed back into the pits. Not exactly sure if there was an incident there for Michael Ashmore. Let's see what exactly happened here for the 98 machine. Yeah, going into 3. Just gets it loose. And that's exactly what I mean, folks. If you're not slowing this car down in time, that's what's going to happen. You're going to send yourself sideways. You're going to wash up into the top wall. It's going to end bad. And most of the time, you're going to lose track position. Or find yourself at the very back of the field, or worse, out of the race completely. So, drivers really trying to do all they can here, but Martinsville, again, you have to hit those marks perfectly every single time. And doing that 250 times, technically, I think 251, but point being, doing that every single time for 250 laps is a true test for these drivers. So, for everyone here right now, there's still 24 out of the 27 drivers that appeared here that showed up for tonight's race. And I gotta say, lap 82 of 250, I am genuinely surprised to see that we have still so many drivers out on track and competing. You know, there's definitely a lot of times where you'll have drivers that are just not happy with their performance and they'll just decide to call it. But it's great to see all of these drivers here just sticking with it and just trying to do the best that they can. James Miller looking down on the inside of Sean Williams in that 89 machine. I almost said 89. That was a weird error for me. Anyway, not exactly sure what's going on for Sean Williams, though. I don't know if he just gave that spot up or if he was having a little bit of trouble here in that 89 machine. I don't have a exact confirmation on that, but Sean Williams here definitely did not seem to have the drive here on James Miller. He definitely seemed to just kind of let that 09 go by here, but he's going to stay behind these drivers kind of in this top 10 spot here, or around the top 10 spot rather. Just kind of stick with these guys, but look behind Sean Williams here. Jaden Hopp following behind Cody Miller and Scott Shire. These two going to be door-to-door down the back straight. Going into turn 3. Cody Miller down on the inside. Oh no, Miller's getting a little loose here into 1. Can he bring it back on track? He does successfully without damaging the car or getting another car involved in that one. That was extremely close. Cody Miller now 16th. Now getting a little bit of pressure from behind from Patrick Colby in the number 9 machine here. That was not great to see for Cody Miller here. But kind of looking here towards this just incredible line of drivers that we have here at the moment. The 18 of Caitlin Height in that Alfa Romeo livery car here, battling it out with James Miller on her inside. Caitlin trying to find some room here as Charles Jurek that we're looking at right now, trying to get some speed, some momentum to track down Cody Welsh in the 85, who holds 8th right now. Jurek with a little bit of pressure from James Miller just behind him. Let's ride on board with Miller, the Ontario native in the 09 machine. Down the back straight into turn 3 on the inside. Looks like we have someone with a little bit of problems here. Steve Ulrich might have had some problems here in that 52 machine. according to timing and scoring, he had a little bit of a moment, but taking a look at that, I don't see any critical damage here from up here in the booth, but it does appear that Steve not exactly having a great time here at this moment as he comes down the back straight here, and Cody Welsh going to put him a lap down as he crosses, goes around him. But Cody Welsh here still holding on to 8th place, down 3 spots from that 5th place spot that he started in here at the beginning of the race here. Oh, look at that. Little bit loose out of turn 2 as he got a little bit of pressure from James Miller from behind. Welsh now appears to be fighting a little bit of that tire wear that we've talked about a little bit already in the beginning of this broadcast. Everyone doing calm and steady racing here so far. Cody Welsh, Caitlin Height duking it out into turn 3 and out of 4. Caitlin down on the inside, down the front straight. Caitlin with the low line advantage. Is she going to be able to get around Cody Welsh here down the back straight? She's got the speed, and she's got it. She's in 9th place now, now she's going to, all she's got to do is just hold off Cody. And really, Cody here, I'm curious to know if he's just kind of saving this car until the end. You know, a lot of drivers here definitely seem to be pretty patient with this race here so far. Lap 96 of 250, we have still to reach the halfway point. Benny Hogan in the 7th place spot here, just behind Nicholas Lavelle. Benny Hogan, who we saw involved in one of the incidents earlier, all the way up here into 7th place now. He's going to be looking pretty comfortable right now, just kind of trailing behind the leaders at this point in time, or just really trying to stick within this top 5 area. If we look at the track map, this will give you an idea of what it's like, where the drivers are out on track right now, and just kind of how spread out this field has started to become here. As we look with this battle between Matthew Fitz and Garrett Mitchell. Matthew able to get himself out in front of that O2 machine. Fitz in that beautiful Sparkle Unicorn car tonight. Finding himself in 20th right now. He's still in the same spot that he started in, so not exactly the worst way to be right now, especially as we're approaching the halfway point. We will be at that halfway mark once we reach lap 125. So just about to the halfway point here in this race. And if, you know, given all the cautions that we've had, given all kind of just the chaos that we've had towards the beginning of this race here, being in the spot that you started in, I wouldn't exactly be upset with that in any way, shape, or form. There's drivers here who would probably, you know, love to be in the spot that they started in at this point in time. So, but speaking of drivers who have not left their starting spot, Howie Briss, still our race leader. Aaron Smith in 4th place, also still holding on to 4th place currently as we locked on with John Barry right now in the 74, coming across the checkered line into turn 1 here. A lot of this action has kind of fallen into some single file racing between the majority of our drivers at this point in time. Looking back at Jaden Hopp and Charles Jurek, some of the closest action that we have here at this point in time as far as timing is concerned. As everyone continues to keep this race green. Scott Shire not able to hold off Tony Hillbrands, as Tony seems to be on a mission here. In 14th currently, trying to charge his way back up the field. And another strong driver that we've seen here throughout the race, Ashley Molyneux, has done a phenomenal job here. Currently in 3rd place, so down a spot from that 2nd place that she was in and was battling for quite well for a long time here. As Nick Nickerson seems to have a little bit of distance between her now, but I don't exactly see that lasting for very long here, especially as we do have pit stops coming up here before too long. Well, let's run through our top 10 here at the moment, just kind of give you an idea of where everyone is at and how this race is going so far. Howie Briss, ooh, right as I was about to do that, Joshua Brock. A little bit of a moment here in the 15 machine. Let's see exactly what happened here for Josh. And that Napa Auto Parts machine here gets a loose into 3 and smacks the wall into out of 4 on the bottom of turn 4 here. So again, this same spot, this same turn has seen, I think if my count is correct, I think 6 drivers in total. It's not always the greatest thing to see, you know, when you're seeing drivers hit the same point and just kind of have these issues over and over again. It's not always ideal, but it is always something that eventually drivers will kind of cue in onto each other and be like, hey, you know, this is the problem. Avoid this at all costs. But drivers are going to come down here into pit road on lap 111 of 250 for our 9th caution here today, folks. And we're going to go ahead and take another quick commercial break here in the booth, and we will be back for more of the 2022 VRL Cup Series Old Dominion 250. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere, and we will be right back with more iRacing right here on Team Good Squad.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona's a pit. What is out?
Welcome back, race fans. Drivers are getting themselves stacked up behind the pace car and ready to go here, and not exactly sure who that was that came into pit road. I believe that was Patrick Colby. He was out in the front of the field at first, and I think once he saw the rest of the field was down in the pits, he decided that was a bad idea and came back down, assuming to get a fresh set of tires and some fuel. The rest of the field all has done the same thing here, on lap 110 here. So, with the lights out on the pace car, we are going to see a restart with drivers all on fresh tires as we come into 3 and out of 4. Howie Briss, Nick Nickerson on the starting row. Howie right on the gas going into turn 1. Trying to build himself a little bit of gap here. Looking back, it's too wide between all of these drivers here. Down the back straight, we see drivers moving all around here trying to get spots. Up in the front, Aaron Smith trying to make moves on the 74 of John Barry, trying to get himself up into 4th place here, or at least trying to hold on to his 4th place spot here. As John Barry on the inside of Aaron Smith. Putting a little bit of pressure here on the winner from last week's race here, Aaron Smith. Doing a fantastic job here at Martinsville. Nick Nickerson now taking the lead here. As we were too busy looking at Aaron Smith, Nick was able to squeeze his way around the 97 of Howie Briss. So now it's going to be the 2 of Nick Nickerson leading this field here. Lap 118 of 250 as we cross the line here at Martinsville for the Old Dominion 250. And surprisingly, Nick Nickerson also setting the fastest lap for the session currently right now with a 20.03 as his best time right now. Howie Briss just behind him in 2nd place last time around was a 20.27. And Howie only seems to be getting not quite keeping that pace here as we continue on. But looking towards the back of the field here, it's Cody Miller and Garrett Mitchell going to be duking it out here. Or excuse me, it was Matthew Fitz that we were looking at there. Fitz in the 6.9 machine trying to keep that bottom line advantage here. Down towards the back straight. Cody Miller able to keep himself out in front of the 6.9. And down the front straight, he's going to build that gap and quickly reel in the 0-2 of Garrett Mitchell just in front. And you can almost see it too when the drivers get on their brakes. You can kind of see the nose of the car duck down a little bit. That'll kind of give you a visual representation of where these drivers are hitting the brakes. And you can see just how much that they do have to get on those brakes. And it's a real game of finesse to get it just right. Enough brake that you're able to get that turn in that you want, but also not too much that you're spinning out the car. It's a lot of great handling done by all of these drivers here. So we're going to ride on board here with Tony Hilbrands in the 92 machine. He's down on the inside of Charles Jurek right now, or just behind him, as we come down the back straight. Tony Hilbrands in 13th right now, down 3 spots from 10th place where he started at the beginning of this race here. Trying to do all that he can to garner some of those positions back, and it looks like he's getting a lot of great pace here at this moment, but he's got to get himself back into this draft and kind of use a lot of the speed of the drivers around him to help push this 92 up further up the grid. But lap 126 of 250, there's still a lot of laps left to turn here. Just over halfway through the race of the Old Dominion 250 for the 2022 Velocity Racing League Cup Series. Oh, Charles Jurek. As I was looking to find a different angle here, Charles Jurek gets a little bit loose on lap 127 here. Let's see what happened for Charles going into 3. Oh no, that was actually 1. He comes out of turn 2, he gets it loose. No, that was 4. Ah, dang it. Well, he gets a little bit loose out of 4 and finds himself spun around. Doesn't cause anyone else to wreck with him, but that was a close call for Charles. But he's going to be down all the way into 21st now. That is going to be rough. Oh, James Coulibaly turned around on the track. Let's see what happened here for James. Here we see Koulibaly coming down the back straight into 3. He taps the rear end of the 69 of Matthew Fitz. That's going to be rough for James here. Matthew able to keep it together, though, but that's going to cause James to have to go all the way back down to 21st now, as our 10th caution has flown here at Martinsville on lap 130 of 250. But while we have a moment, let's take a look at our current point standings. Howie Briss, still the leader for the championship, with Sean Williams in second, Tony Hilbrands in third, Nicholas Lavelle in fourth, and Benny Hogan in fifth. So right now, Howie Briss going to be looking to take home another win to pad that championship lead. But he's got Nick Nickerson right on, really giving him a lot of trouble here, a lot of pressure here at Martinsville. I'm very curious how Howie's going to tackle this, as it seems like Nickerson has the speed to keep the lead for the rest of this race here. So once that, once we get towards the final 20-25 laps, if Nickerson is able to hold on to this lead here, I can imagine that he's going to be able to work up at least possibly a position or two. We'll see. We'll see. But either way, Nickerson's having a very fantastic race here. Howie Briss also doing an incredible job here. And we got a couple other drivers here as well that are kind of peaking in the top 10, top 5 area. We got Sean Williams in 7th place currently. Tony Hilbrand's just outside of the top 10 spot in that 11th place spot here. So, oh, and Nicholas Lavelle also going to be in 6th place currently. So a few drivers that are kind of in the top 5 here for the championship, all pretty close to being able to take away some pretty good points here for this race. So gonna have to keep our eye open on that and see how that progresses for our drivers here today. So great job from everyone thus far. Lap 133 of 250. Still a long race left to go here, folks. So a lot of racing left to be done before we see that checkered flag fly. And still a lot of time left for these drivers to make passing opportunities happen. You can see Howie Briss tapping away on that throttle down the back straight as the pace car ducks down into pit road. And the green flag flies here once again, lap 135. Nickerson down on the inside here, just trying to take advantage of that low line and get away from this field here, as we've seen the leader do multiple times here throughout this race here. Looking at Ashley Molyneux in the 51, trying to defend that 3rd place spot from Aaron Smith. A lot of these drivers here falling single file up towards the top 5, but back behind them, it's a completely different story. We're 2 wide, 5 deep. We're looking at Caitlin Height in the 18 machine right now. She's just behind Cody Welsh and Sean Williams going down the front stretch. Into turn 1, it's Williams and Welsh almost door to door here. Williams able to get himself just enough space and enough speed to get himself away down the back straight, but into turn 3, that could change. Doesn't look like it's going to. Let's actually ride on board here with the 18 driver of Caitlin Height. Very, very solid work here from the 18 driver. Coming down the back straight into turn 3, trying to reel in the 89 of Sean Williams. A A lot of these drivers here taking that single file approach as quickly as they can. Again, Martinsville, not a place that you want to be duking it out side by side, turn after turn, lap after lap. But I also got to give a shout out to Caitlin Height here, really having the hard charger award here, if there was one, up 15 spots from the start of the race here today. So Caitlin Height here has got to be feeling pretty good with herself, all the way up into 8th place after starting towards the tail end of the field after not opting to take a qualifying lap here for today's race. So she's got to be feeling pretty good with herself after being able to accomplish that here. But right now, looking just back here in 14th place, John Barry in that 74 machine, who we also saw kind of up towards the front here for a moment, finding himself all the way back here in the 14th now. Scott Shire just in front of him in the number 4 machine. And it definitely seems like here that a lot of drivers have, oh, look at that. Shire, Barry, door to door. That was very close between these two out of 4. But looking up here in 7th place right now, Sean Williams in 6th place, getting a little bit of trouble here from behind from Caitlin Height and Aaron Smith. As they duke it out side by side across the checkered line, Caitlin down on the inside into turn 1, trying to get herself around the 70 machine. She's successful. Going down the back straight, Aaron Smith going to try and set himself up here for, nope, never mind. He's going to take it easy. Everyone here looking extremely calm, very, very steady here in kind of the midway point of this race. We are just about to that halfway marker as we are on lap 146 of 250 here at Martinsville. Starting to see Tony Hilbrands creep his way up here into the battle between Cody Welsh and John Barry, but it's not even really a battle here as Barry is able to get himself a little bit of distance between that 85 machine. Looking at Tony Hilbrand still here in the 92, coming out of turn 2. Down the back straight here, trying to stay on the tail of Welsh. Let's ride on board with Scott Shire here for a few moments. Shire holding on to 14th right now currently. Keeping Hilbrands just within arm's reach here. Trying not to let him get too far away. And keep that draft going as much as you possibly can. So a lot of these drivers here, very, very calm, very steady driving. Battle happening for 19th between, I believe this is Garrett Mitchell. It's actually 18th. Garrett Mitchell and Charles Jurek. Door to door here going into 3. Jurek down on the inside. See Mitchell there trying to keep that 02 machine from getting away from him. Garrett doing a phenomenal job here, trying to keep himself in this battle here with Charles Jurek. Looking up at P7 right now, Aaron Smith in the 70, finding himself with Sean Williams right on his tail. As we ride on board with the gearbox camera, or with the rear view roof camera rather, of the 70 of Aaron Smith here. Give our folks at home a little bit of a different perspective. We're actually going to take on board with the roof camera of John Barry now in 10th place as he follows behind James Miller in that 09 machine. Oh, Miller, little bit of trouble out of 4. Barry able to capitalize on that one. Puts himself up into 9th place after that little bit of a mistake from Miller in that Tim Hortons 09 machine. You see Jaden Hopp there at the top of the track. Not sure what happened to put Jaden all the way up there. He might have got washed up out of 4. He's going to find himself in 10th place now with Sean Williams just behind him, right on his tail. Looking back here, Welsh trying to get around Cody Miller here. The two Codys. The battle of the Codys, if you will. But look at this battle here for 3rd place. Ashley Molyneux, Benny Hogan, side by side, down the back stretch, out of turn 2, into 3. Oh, Ashley, sideways just a little bit, going into 3. Oh, man. Oh, that is gotta hurt for the 51. She has gotta be upset with that one. It's those little mistakes, too, folks, that are absolutely critical in your race. Ashley definitely not going to be too happy with that one here, but she's still got plenty of laps left to turn here. She can recoup that, but definitely going to be hurting after a slide like that. But looking just behind that, Sean Williams here in the 89 machine holding off Tony Hilbrands, as well as Jaden Hopp here. Tony able to work his way around Jaden as Tony continues his way back up here into the top 10. We see James Miller here as well, getting right on the tail of Ashley Molyneux, who we just saw get washed up into 3. And is now going to have to try and salvage back whatever she can here, while also defending at the same time. So it's going to be quite the challenge, I'd have to imagine, here for Ashley. Oh, as she gets James Miller right on her tail. Lap traffic doing what they do to get out of the way as much as they can. Very, very good racing here, but looks like there's trouble for Garrett Mitchell in the 02 machine. We stay green. Let's see what happens here for Garrett in the 02. So I believe that's turn 3. Coming out of 4, yep. Snaps it sideways. Oh, man. And that is a correction. That was turn 2. Corey Mitchell, you almost have to be perfect every lap. Yeah, Martinsville definitely is one of those tracks that I mentioned it a couple times already. You have to be perfect with your laps almost every single time, and it's, I want to say it's almost easier for a sim racer to get a little bit distracted, if you will. Maybe you have your phone, maybe you have your water bottle in reach. whatever the case may be, there's always something. Oh, look at this. Ashley, what is going on in that 51 here? It is nothing but trouble for the 51 in the second half of this race here. And Ashley's trying to do all that she can to keep this together. Let's ride on board and have a listen in to the 51 of Ashley Molyneux and get an idea of what's happening on the inside of Ashley Molyneux's 51 machine. So as we're looking here with Ashley Molyneux in the 51, really it seems like the only trouble spots that seems to be affecting the 51 here is turn 4. And it's not exactly exclusive to Ashley. We've seen multiple drivers have issues in that same spot, so I'm almost curious if maybe that section of the track just not quite giving drivers the level of grip that they might expect or want. Here on lap 175 at 250, it could also be the lights are on the track. The sun has gone down. The track could be cooling off here. So, going back to that conversation we had a little while ago, talking about how that might affect the track overall and how that might affect our drivers here as the race continues on. Right as we tune to Nicholas Lavelle, he gets tapped from the rear end from Jaden Hopp in the 81 machine, sends him spinning around right on the checkered line into the bottom wall. That's going to hurt. That 10 machine is definitely hurting. But that's going to bring out our 11th caution here for today's race. And we're going to step away, take a quick commercial break, and we will be right back with the Old Dominion 250 for the 2022 VRL Cup Series. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, folks, and we will be right back for more iRacing right here on Team Goon Squad.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The big one is out.
Welcome back, folks. As the drivers get themselves back behind the pace car and ready for this restart here, a lot of our field decided to come down into pit road during this caution here, this will probably be the last time that we see drivers come down pit road here for a set of tires and for fuel. So, 71 laps of racing left to be had here for the Old Dominion 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. There we see Thomas Sewell and Charles Jurek. Excuse me, not Charles Jurek. Paul Mikolajczyk. Excuse me. Both getting a wave around here to get caught up with the rest of the field. But the lights are off on the pace car. And surprisingly, Cody Miller did not come down into pit road that time around. He's going to be on the oldest set of tires here. Lap 111 was his last time in, so everyone else is going to be on those fresh set of tires. I am very curious to see how this is going to work out for Cody Miller here. I am wondering if he is going to be regretting not coming into pit road here in the next few turns. Well, green flag is out. Let's go racing here, folks. Cody Miller trying to hold off Nick Nickerson, but the speed of that number 2 machine and those fresh set of tires is already apparent. Nick Nickerson very easily able to get himself around the 28, even around the outside line here. Very impressive work there for Nick Nickerson. So we come into turn 1 here once again. Howie Brisk working himself back up into second place as he continues to charge his way back up this field here. Look at Tony Hilbrand's up into 5th place. He gets a little bit of trouble going into 4 and onto turn 3. Out of turn 4. He is going to keep it together here, but only just. Into turn 1, he's going to be on the door here of Aaron Smith, not able to keep the same speed and momentum that bottom line has shown here all race long. Look at this, Tony Hilbrand, same issue. Oh, no! Gets sideways in the top of turn 4. But the caution does not come out. We're going to stay green. Nope, there it is. Never mind. So, now that we've had another caution come out, Cody Miller, after realizing that he probably isn't going to be able to keep up with the rest of the field here, he's going to come down into pit road and get those fresh set of tires that he's going to probably need here for the remainder of this race. But I got to admire Miller for that attempt there. That was definitely a bold move, Cotton, if I do say so myself. But while we have a moment here, let's talk about Cody Welsh, the fan favorite in the 85 machine. Welsh with the apparent cult following here for these broadcasts. I gotta ask, for everyone watching at home, for everyone enjoying the broadcast so far, if you were Cody Welsh, what would you do to try and get yourself up into, let's say, at least the top 10. Currently, he sits P12, down 7 spots right now. Lap 189 of 250 at this point in time. I believe we'll be going back to green here on lap 191, if I'm not mistaken. So, give me your thoughts, folks. Let me know, what do you think Cody Welsh has to do here in order to get himself back up into the top 10? As the lights, I do believe, no, they are still on. So we're going to have a couple more laps here around with the pace car as the field gets themselves sorted out and ready for the green flag to fly here once again at Martinsville. Jennifer Wonder says, take some risk. For Cody Welsh, I think some risk are going to have to be taken here. And hopefully Cody is going to be able to place himself in some opportune spots to be able to make those passes early on, especially when we have these restarts like this. When the field is stacked up and real close to one another, this is your best time to take those chances. So, pace car ducks down into pit road. Nick Nickerson, Howie Briss, back in that 1 and 2 starting spots that they have seen themselves in for quite some time. The green flag flies here once again. Nickerson, right off the launch, an impressive move from Nickerson. He is already up to nearly half a second between himself and Howie Briss and John Barry as they duke it out. Door to door, going into 3 and out of turn 4. We're 2 wide. I don't even know how many deep. There is just battles happening all over this field here right after this restart. Aaron Smith, that we're looking at right now in 7th place, trying to find some room here. He's got James Miller, Benny Hogan just out in front of him. Door to door into 3 and out of turn 4. All these drivers trying to do all that they can here on this restart. Let's see where Cody Welsh currently sits, just behind Charles Jurek in the 76 machine. And for the folks at home, let's actually ride on board here with the 85, and let's take a moment to appreciate Cody Welsh and his driving here at Martinsville. Very patient, steady driving out of the 85, Cody Welsh. As we're on lap 198 of 250 as the leaders cross the line. A lot of this field back into that single file line that we have seen for the majority of this race, and really that's all that you can do in such a track like Martinsville, where you only have so much time down the straights to build up speed, and you're right back into the turn once again. Aaron Smith just behind him, looking like he had a little bit of a moment there, able to keep it back together here. Duking it out there with Benny Hogan for that 6th place spot just outside the top 5. Aaron Smith doing a phenomenal job here in a place that he is not too comfortable with, but Benny Hogan, out of turn 4, slaps the top wall down the front straight, almost with a little bit of a moment there. As Benny Hogan continues on, Ashley Molyneux in that 9th place spot, trying to do all that she can to work her way back up this field. Down on the inside of the 5 of Benny Hogan, going into turn 1 and out of turn 2, down the back straight. They're still door to door. Molyneux trying to drive the wheels off this 51 as much as he can. Benny Hogan there looked like he almost got, might have been a little bit of wash up there possibly. Not exactly sure if he was just trying to get that car straight again. But a lot of our field here looking fairly steady in the final quarter of this race. Now, Corey, don't go saying that. Don't go saying that. We're not going to be doing that up here now. Everything looks to be pretty calm, pretty. Oh, you had to do it, Corey. You had to do it. Well, actually, it does not look like that. It's going to bring out a caution, though, as James Coulibaly looked like he had a bit of a moment, according to timing and scoring, but it does not look like it's going to affect the rest of our field here, as we're going to take a quick replay of what happens here with James. Oh, into 3. Washes up. Oh, very, very close. Thomas Sewell. Oh, woo, that was close. That was close there for Thomas. Well, we stay green. That does not bring out the yellow flag, the dreaded yellow flag here for these drivers. So we're going to stay green. Lap 206 of 250. We're going to ride on board here with the roof camera of the 70 of Aaron Smith here as he follows along with James Miller in that 09 machine. Aaron holding on to 6th place here currently. Smith doing a very good job staying right on the bumper of Aaron Smith, or of James Miller, excuse me. Very, very impressive work here from all of our drivers here in these final 40 laps of this race here. After all the woes that a lot of these drivers have seen, it's still impressive to see all the drivers that are still out on track, even despite all of the issues that they may or may not have had. Currently, as it stands, it appears that we still have, I believe, 22 drivers out of the 27 that we started with for this race. So it's been absolutely phenomenal racing for a lot of these drivers here today. And we've seen quite a few battles of quite a fool. Looking back here at Cody Welsh. Man, you know, I hate to say it, but Welsh definitely does not seem to be having the best race here as he gets a little bit of contact with Nicholas Lavelle. Going into 1. That's going to set back Welsh back into 15th from the 12th place spot that he was just holding on to. Welsh definitely not going to be too thrilled at this point in the race. So right now looking at Aaron Smith in the 6th place spot. Lap 215 of 250 at this point in time, and right now a lot of the action has really kind of dissipated here. We only have a couple drivers that are, well, super close to each other, I would say, but as these laps tick away, I'm really curious to see who is going to kind of get on the pedal here and make some moves towards this final end of the race. Looking back up here towards the front, surprisingly enough, John Barry is up into second place. Howie Briss all the way down into third. Scott Shire, though, little bit of trouble. Oh, no. Oh, no. Patrick Colby not able to check up in time. Oh, ooh. Oh, my, folks. Looking here at Scott Shire in the 4 machine. Gets loose into 3, sends it sideways, locking up the tires, stops it right in the middle of turn 4. Patrick Colby with nowhere to go, not able to get around. So our 13th caution here, and the field is going to make its way into the pits. And with that, we are going to take one more commercial break here, folks, and we will be back here for more of the 2022 VRL Cup Series Old Dominion 250, brought to you by Geezer Authentic. Sorry, a little bit of a brain freeze there. But anywho, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back for more iRacing here on Team Goon Squad.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out.
And welcome back, folks. So we see drivers getting those tires warmed up as much as they can here before the green flag drops here. Probably for the last time. Let's hope so, at least. Let's quickly run through our top 10 before we go green here. Nick Nickerson starting out in first. John Barry in second. Benny Hogan in third. Tony Hilbrands in fourth. Howie Briss in fifth. Caitlin Height in sixth. Aaron Smith in 7th, James Miller in 8th, Jaden Hopp. Ashley Molito actually in 9th, and Jaden Hopp in 10th. But into turn 3, the pace car drops down into pit road. And the green flag flies here once more. Lap 223 of 250. We are just about to the end of this race here. Who is going to walk away with the win for the Old Dominion 250? Is it going to be Nick Nickerson? Or is it going to be another driver that has yet to work their way back up here into the front of the field? As we're looking right now, Benny Hogan, John Barry, both side by side here. Well, actually, now it's going to be John Barry and Howie Briss side by side, duking it out for third place. Is Benny Hogan able to quickly work his way back up into second? Matthew Fitz, a little bit of trouble out of turn 2, finding himself spun around here on the back straight. Let's see what exactly unfolded here for Matthew Fitz. Into 3. Yeah, looks like he probably got on the gas a little bit too hard, too early. Ultimately sent that 6.9 machine spinning up into the wall. So I gotta say, folks, for Martinsville, you know, you never really can go into a race at Martinsville expecting it to go green the whole way. You almost have to expect that there's at least going to be one caution. And given that we've had 14 tonight, I think we've reached that goal. I wouldn't actually, I take that back. It's not a goal. Definitely not a goal. But I do believe, let's see here. So it looks like we're still going to have the pace car come around with us a couple more laps. I believe, if I had to guess, we're probably going to see the pace car come in with 22 left to go, 21 left to go. The lights are off on the pace car, so once we come back to green flag, it'll be 21 to go here for the Old Dominion 250 at Martinsville Speedway. And with a completely different set of drivers up here at the front than we had at the beginning, Nick Nickerson, Benny Hogan starting out first and second, Howie Briss and John Barry third and fourth. Pace cars in. Coming out of turn 4. The green flag flies, and it's 21 to go. Nick Nickerson doing exactly the same as before, getting right up to the top and down into turn 1. Well, look at this. Benny Hogan washes up. Doesn't exactly... Oh, man, that is rough for Benny. He did not... Oh, man. Benny Hogan definitely seems to be struggling here at this moment to try and keep this car fast as he taps the rear end of Ashley Molyneux. Sends her sideways. Tony Hilbrand's also involved here as the caution comes out with 20 to go. Let's take a look here at what happens for the 51 of Ashley Molyneux. You see Benny Hogan just behind her, trying to slow that 5 machine down. It's not enough, though. Taps the bumper of the 51, sending Ashley into a little bit of a spin here. Great control from the 51. Ashley trying to do all that she can here. You can also see the 92 of Tony Hilbrand's just below. Oh, and a whole slew of other drivers. The 89 of Sean Williams, the 85 of Cody Welsh, also the 4 of Scott Shire. This one, not a good wreck. 18 laps left to go here, folks, when we're under caution right now. So by the time we go back to green, it'll probably be, I would have to guess, probably 15 to go, maybe sooner, maybe later. But either way, you know, Corey, why'd you have to jinx us? Man, we could have had a green flag run here all the way until the end. I'm just teasing. But anyhow, yeah, it's definitely not uncommon to see these cautions kind of come out towards the final half of the race, or even the final quarter of the race. You know, tensions are high, the excitement level is there. You know, all the drivers are definitely kind of at their peak at this point in time during the race. Also, shout out to James to coming up here and doing a little bit of well, just joining us up here in the booth. So gotta thank James for coming up here and chatting with us here as well. But Corey Mitchell saying that's not the big one, though. Corey, I feel, is here as, you know, he's just here to bring out the wrecks. Corey just wants to see everyone crash. I'm only kidding, but either way, either how. Oh gosh. Well, I'm glad that all of us here watching the action are having fun and enjoying what we're seeing on screen here. Don Hilbrands giving a shout out to Tony Hilbrands in the 92 machine for the save that he had there. Yeah, you know, Tony has had quite the run here tonight as well. Able to keep himself up into 8th place. You know, he's kind of been all over the place, kind of midfield, up towards the front, and back and forth again. It's kind of been a strange night for a lot of these drivers here, and Tony Hilbrands, I think, is no exception to that, as the pace car comes down into pit road. 15 laps left to go, 14 once we cross the line here, and the green flag flies. Let's see how this goes here this time around, as the green flag flies here once again. Here at Martinsville Speedway, we're 3 wide into turn 1. Howie Briss, John Barry, Aaron Smith. Oh, wow, that was very clean from all 3 of these guys, but we're still 3 wide down the back straight into turn 3. Caitlin Height down on the inside. Benny Hogan not quite able to keep that speed that he was having there for quite some time, but right here, oh man, these drivers are really pushing it here in this final half of the race. It's 13 laps left to go here, folks, and these drivers are giving it their all. Looking here at Benny Hogan in the number 5 machine, you see Charles Jurek, Nicholas Lavelle right behind them, duking it out side by side here. Nicholas Lavelle up on top of Cody Welsh now as they come into turn 1 here. Welsh right behind Charles Jurek. Out of turn 2, down the back straight, Jurek side by side with Nicholas Lavelle. Going into turn 3, Jurek down on the inside of Lavelle here. Very close between these two drivers. They almost touched doors there. Keeping it together, we're still racing hard here. Yellow flag's out, though. I had a feeling that was going to come. Sean Williams seems to be one of the drivers involved in this one. Let's see exactly what unfolded here. Oh, hold on a second. So Garrett Mitchell had a little bit of, okay, so if you're looking up top out of turn 2 here, you see the O2 of Garrett Mitchell getting a little bit loose here, but Sean Williams, I can't tell if he was trying to avoid that. It looked like he might have been in, oh man, it might have been too much. Sean Williams spinning out of turn 4 is going to be sliding across the checkered line with all 4 tires locked up here. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what happened there, but it looked like Sean Williams was trying to avoid Nicholas. I'm not exactly too certain on that, but he might have been anticipating contact and was trying to keep himself down low as far as he could. Not 100% certain on that, but the field ducking down low here. That was actually, I've never actually seen that before, surprisingly. The whole field getting down low to let the lap traffic on by here. I'm actually quite surprised by that. Anyway, back to the race here with 9 laps left to go. I have a feeling once we cross the line with the green flag, it'll probably be closer to 5 laps left to go here. But it's been phenomenal racing through and through for all of these drivers here tonight, and it's only continued to get more exciting as this has gone on. So for Nick Nickerson and Howie Briss now back up into second place. I actually just now noticed that. My fault. Howie Briss gonna be able to possibly maybe be able to get back up into the front here, but Nickerson has really shown some phenomenal pace. I am actually impressed with how well Nickerson has performed here tonight. He's had phenomenal pace since he's taken this lead, and really hasn't allowed much passing opportunities. He's really been very consistent here in this final half of the race, and ultimately that's what you're going to be looking for when you're the leader is that consistency. You know, having these minor mistakes that we've seen multiple drivers have throughout this race already, you know, that's exactly what you want to avoid, and ultimately that's probably what's going to give you the win, is that consistency. So, and with a little mixture of pit strategy as well, but given the number of cautions that we've had here tonight, I don't think that pit strategy alone would be enough to come away with a win here. As we've seen, it's just been back and forth all race long. It's been up and down this entire time, and really it almost, for me, it's kind of almost been uncertain as far as who is going to be taking away the lead, taking away the win, just given how much uncertainty there's been through this race. But as the pace car ducks back into pit road, we are going to be coming back to green here with 5 laps left to go, and I'm actually a little surprised I got that right. Anyhow, back to green flag racing. Nick Nickerson doing exactly what he has done well every single restart, getting himself a nice gap between the rest of the field here. Down the back straight, Howie Briss trying to keep himself right on the tail of Nickerson. Oh, looks like a little bit of trouble for him, and right behind them, the caution is out, though. Once again here, and with only 4 laps to go, so already ducking into one of our green-white checkered attempts here. Now, for the Velocity Racing League Cup Series, we do have unlimited green-white checkered attempts. So, oh no! Oh, a massive pileup going out of turn 4. Let's take a look at that one more time here, folks. So we're watching with Tony Hilbrands. Let's actually ride on board with the nose camera, and you can see it unfold right in front of him. Oh, both cars snap sideways simultaneously. Oh, man. Wow, folks. Wow. That's all I have to say about that one. That is, that is rough. And I say that, but it doesn't affect our leaders. Nick Nickerson, Howie Briss, they're still 1 and 2. They're both still leading this race. So right now, it's it's definitely tough for our drivers in the midfield, kind of towards the back. They have all kind of definitely been it's definitely seemed like it's been not quite the best race for our drivers here in the midfield, but it's been a phenomenal race thus far, even despite all that. So with 3 laps left to go, even as we come across the line multiple times with the pace car, we're gonna have 3 laps left to go here once we come back to green. So already tapping into that green-white checkered pool here. So either we're going to finish the race under green flag conditions, or we're going to run out the time clock on our session here tonight. So I don't exactly have a number on that. I don't know how long we have dedicated to the session. I believe it is around 3 hours, if I do recall correctly. But let's hope and let's pray that we don't see that happen, as I'm sure that our drivers here would not want to see that happen here either. A 3-hour race is starting to get more into that endurance category, which, well, let's just say isn't the most popular amongst our racing series here. So, well, I won't say that. I might make some folks angry amongst the Team Goon Squad community, but either way, either how, point still standing. I don't think these drivers want to see a 3-hour race, and I definitely don't think that these drivers want to see that 3 laps left to go for that time. So, with this in mind, and the lights are off on the pace car, Nick Nickerson, Howie Briss here, man, it's been a phenomenal battle between these two drivers, and really this whole field, it's been an incredible fight for all of our drivers here tonight. But pace car is in. We're going into 3, and once we come out of 4, that green flag will fly here once again. And it's 2 laps left to go here. Nickerson trying to get that start, as he always has done. But look at this, John Barry down on the inside of Howie Briss, trying to take away that second spot from our championship leader. Howie trying to do all that he can here, but look at Caitlin Height now trying to squeeze her way down the front straight here. It's the final lap. Oh, no. Oh, folks. Oh, oh no. Well, I think I might have jinxed us here a little bit, folks. The classic commentator's curse coming into play here. Let's take a look at Tony Hilbrand's going into turn 3 here. Oh, he smacks the rear end of James Coulibaly. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Matthew Fitz, Thomas Sewell also involved in this one. Let's take another look at this one. Oh, gosh. So, James, okay, so I'm going to try and break this down here, play by play, and give you guys an idea of exactly what happened here, if you don't understand exactly what happened here. So, look at this. Tony Hilbrand sees James Coulibaly right in front of here. James slowed way down, and Tony did not expect that from James. He was coming in to turn 3 real hot. And James, I'm not exactly sure what he was slowing down for. He might have just been, he might have been washing up a little bit. But ultimately, Tony was not able to slow that car down enough in time. And that's what's going to cause that contact there. But, wow. Second GWC of the night here, folks. Things are looking, fairly interesting here for the end of the race here. We're going to take a quick commercial break here, folks, and we will be right back for the Old Dominion 250 for the 2022 VRL Cup Series. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we will be back for more iRacing right here on Team Goon Squad.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the Kingwood is out.
Welcome back, folks. The lights are off on the pace car. Let's see if this time we can come across the line with the white flag before the caution comes out. Cross your fingers, folks. Actually, don't do that. That's bad luck. Anyway, anyhow, pace car's back down into pit road. We're going to see that green flag fly here, and here we go. Nickerson with that start. Once again, we're 3 wide, though. Oh, Howie Brisket sent sideways into turn 1. It brings out multiple cars sideways into turn 1. Nicholas Lavelle, the 09, James Miller involved, Aaron Smith. Oh, folks. Why do I have to do this to myself, folks? I was hoping, praying, let's have a green flag run here. Let's finish this race out. Oh, man. But here's the thing. When you have these restarts like this, these tires, all of these drivers, they're going to be dealing with the same exact thing. Their tires are going to be cooling off. They're not going to be able to keep that heat in those tires. They're going to lose that traction. And the more that we stop and start like this, the more that it's amplified. It's just, man, it's really tough to see, and these drivers have to lock it in and really put their foot down. Not literally, to keep these cars on track and going straight here, as we get them re-racked and ready to start another green-white checkered attempt here. But the fan favorite, Cody Welsh, in the 85 machine, all the way up into 4th place. Corey Mitchell saying he told me so, and, well, you did. You did tell me so. You got me there, Corey. But Cody Welsh here, there was a lot of hope in the chat that we would see the 85 work his way back up here, even in just the top 10, but he's all the way back up here into 4th place here. So with 3 laps left to go here, folks, let's just hope that Cody is able to keep it clean, keep it together here on this next restart. If we see it all the way until the end, until the checkered flag, hopefully he'll at least be able to come away with at least 4th place. For the race that Cody has had here tonight, I think coming away with 4th place would be absolutely incredible. But I think for the 85 of Cody, he is going to be itching to at least get himself into that top 3 and take away a podium. But right now, 2 drivers that we have not seen, I don't think, actually, in the podium. I think Caitlin Height actually has been in the podium once already this year. But John Barry in the 74 machine going to be taking his first podium finish for the year. So very interesting to see that 74 machine up here in 2nd place right now. Nick Nickerson, another strong driver in this season, going to be looking to take home a win here in the 2022 VRL Cup Series. I'm not exactly certain if this would be Nickerson's first win of the season. We will have to ask him that if when that time comes. So the lights are off on the pace car as we come down the back straight here, and we are going to be going back to green flag racing here once again for the Old Dominion 250 here at Martinsville Speedway. Pace car is into turn 3. Nickerson, John Barry, side by side on this restart. The green flag flies. Nickerson doing what he does best here. Caitlin Height down on the inside of turn 1. She works her way up into 2nd place. John Barry trying to hold on to 3 as he's got Benny Hogan now. Wow, look at that move from John Barry, getting right out in front of Benny Hogan, trying to defend his 3rd place spot here. Let's see if we can come across the line. It's the final lap here at Martinsville Speedway. Ashley Molyneux not quite having the moment that she wants to have, as she seems to have an incident according to timing here, but it's the final lap. Checkered flag is out as we come out of turn 4. Nickerson's going to come across the line here as we have drivers crashing in the back of the field across the line. It's a whole conglomerate of drivers coming across the... Oh my. What a way to end the race here, folks. That was... ouch. Ouch is all I have to say about that one. Let's take that back into slow motion here, folks. I want to see this. You can see Cody Welsh here in the 85 machine. Seems to be the one to start it all here. Coming out of turn 4. Oh, man. And there it is. 6 drivers right there. 7, all across the checkered line for the finish of the race. My, oh my, folks, that has been absolutely incredible to watch here. But here it is, our race results up on screen for you now. Nick Nickerson taking home the win. Caitlin Height in second place. John Barry in third. Benny Hogan in fourth place. With Patrick Colby in fifth. Cody Welsh in sixth. Sean Williams in seventh. Garrett Mitchell in eighth. Charles Jurek in ninth. Paul Mikolajczyk in 10th. That is going to round out our top 10 here for tonight's race. And I got to say, it has been an absolutely incredible one to watch here. But we are going to go ahead and get started with our post-race interviews here today as we get drivers up here into our waiting room here. Just a moment for that, please. All right, so starting up in third place, John Barry in the 74 machine, taking home third. John, sir, do you have a read? Hello, John. Do you have a read?
Yes, I do.
John, taking home third place tonight for the Old Dominion 250. Martinsville, definitely not an easy short track to be coming to. You know, you have nice long straights, but very, very tricky turns that we've seen multiple drivers have incidents in here throughout this race here. But John, I gotta say, personally, I think you were one of the most calm and collected drivers out on the field here tonight. Not, pushing yourself too aggressively, but pushing yourself enough that you're able to take home third place here tonight. John, walk me through your night, and what do you think worked best for you to take home third tonight?
I think the thing that kind of helped me most, I did do NIS last week, and that kind of helped. And just the nature of this track is it's so much of it's just a wreck fest majority of the time. Tonight wasn't too terribly bad, but it's so much of a wreck fest. It's just pacing yourself and going hard enough not to get run over from behind, but not going so hard that you're the one who's wrecking. And I had to jack the front brake bias all the way up, so I went wheel hop going the corner because it was going to kind of bad on the long run, and it's just baby the throttle off the corner exit because it was going to kind of loosey goosey on the long run. But it's just being patient and not plowing through people. I was really only in the back of the field once on new tires, and it's kind of this track, with it being a night race and there was actually a lot of grips, just let everybody else screw her up because passing was pretty hard to do. So I just kind of ran my own race and just let it come to me, and got third out of it, so that was cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to ask you here, John, having all these cautions come out kind of towards the tail end of the race, what kind of mentality were you put in? Was it kind of oh crap, here we go, another caution again, or was it kind of like, oh, okay, here's another chance to make a pass or work up a position? What was kind of your thoughts on the last quarter of the race?
Well, me and Nick kind of screwed up there at the end where everybody kind of came in for tires and we didn't, and we stayed out, and I kind of realized who was in trouble. So, but I knew we was not going to get a long run in the race. It was going to be caution after caution after caution. So there wasn't a long enough of a green flag run for their tires to really kick in. But it was just, the whole race was just nothing but restarts. It was just, can you clear, if you was on the outside, can you clear the guy that's on your inside in the turn one to get down the bottom? If you're on the inside, just get enough of a jump where you can get to the inside of the guy in the row from you to kind of get that position. But it was just timing the restarts right and just protecting the bottom, because I knew everything was so bottom line here, and it happens every time I run it at night. Just protecting the bottom, make sure no one got inside of me. So I made sure not to fade up all the way towards the wall going through the corner to kind of protect the bottom. But this restart definitely helped me and Nick on the old tire. So just protecting the bottom, make sure I didn't have a chuff corner restart and just not going there. So yeah, just getting a restart, time right, protecting the bottom was really the key there. So yeah, this is way more until this.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was a lot that drivers had to kind of keep in check here for the race here at Martinsville. I mean, drivers were fighting tires, drivers were fighting other cars around them, drivers were fighting grip. It was, like you said, the list goes on and on here at Martinsville. But John, I want to congratulate you on taking home third place. It was phenomenal job here for the 74 machine. But I want to give you this time to give your shout outs. Thank anyone watching at home, anyone in your pit crew, or anyone in general for your success here tonight at Martinsville.
I would like to thank me for being such an awesome driver, hold off people on old tires. I also like to thank me for putting the car together because I hire absolutely no one to work on this car. I'm self-sponsored, self-employed. I bust my knuckles every time I work on this race car. It's a miracle that we actually got to the track. We crashed the hauler coming to the racetrack, so we had to borrow a hauler from a local truck stop. They haven't found me yet, so don't tell anybody about that. So, I see blue lights coming after me right now. I think they found me. So I gotta go. Thank you very much for the interview, and bye.
All right, John, thank you very much, and congratulations on third place. John, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.
You're welcome.
All right, folks, John Barry out of the booth here in the 74 machine as he has to make his way out of Martinsville and across the state lines here. Up next into the booth, Caitlin Height in the number 18 machine, taking home second place here. Caitlin, do you have a read?
Hello?
Caitlin, welcome. You're taking home second place here. I believe the last time we spoke, you took home second place last time. Am I wrong?
Charlotte was actually a win.
That was a win. Okay, I was mistaken. My apologies. So, Caitlin, back up here in another podium for the season. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is your second race of the season?
Actually third, because I raced Daytona, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. So, Caitlin here, 3 races out of the season in 2 podiums. Caitlin, you have shown quite the drive here in this season. It's been really impressive to see the pace out of that 18 machine. Now, you started all the way at the tail end of the field here. We did have quite a number of cautions that I think affected the entire field here, but Caitlin, walk me through kind of what led you to being able to take home second place here tonight?
Well, mostly it was a lot of patience with the first, opening 2/3 of the race. And then for, the final part, it was all trying to set up, trying to, I guess, play strategy as to when to pit, when not to pit, and just hoping that I'm in the right line on restarts, because it was just really, really bad just if you were on the outside on new tires.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely seemed like tires were a crucial thing in this race here. We had a moment. I don't know if you saw this, but we had a moment. I believe it was kind of halfway through the race here where we had I think it was the 28 driver of Cody Miller. He was on a set of tires from lap 111, and we were drivers all came in a lap 177. So it was definitely very interesting to see how much tires do affect your pace here at Martinsville. But Caitlin, you definitely did not seem to be affected by that. And one other thing that I want to ask you is how was it trying to manage keeping yourself out on the field with as many cautions that we had? I mean, it seemed like there was just drivers falling left and right due to whether it was tire wear like we were talking about or just finding themselves loose, particularly it seemed like in turn 3 or 4.
Yeah, the setup just had a strange mid-rotation and exit just sort of snap when the weight shifted. So it was really a lot of managing that, and then also just making sure the right rear tire just didn't get overheated on the exit, so you could just make sure that you could really keep the throttle down. But yeah, other than that, it was just it just really feels like it came down to luck a lot, just to be in position to avoid whatever wrecks were happening, right near you or wherever.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like no matter where you were on track, you were not exactly free from being put into one of those situations here. But I mean, you were able to keep your nose clean. You did a phenomenal job here in this entire race, and really it was very impressive watching this field kind of manage just all the ups and downs that we had throughout this race here. But Caitlin, I want to congratulate you on taking home yet another podium for the season, and for doing such an incredible job in this race. I know that it's up here in the booth, it definitely seemed a little uncertain as far as who was going to take home a podium here tonight, but it was impressive watching that 18 machine just keep it calm, keep it steady, and ultimately take home second place. But I want to give you this time to give your shout outs, thank anyone at home in the pit crew or anyone watching the broadcast before we let you go.
Well, this week it's Alfa Romeo Racing and Sauber Engineering, and I guess also just the fact that I actually didn't get mad at anybody, even though I had a really good line that I wanted to use if I did, but I guess I'll just have to save that for next time.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully we get to see more of that 18 machine up here in the front, and hopefully we get to have another similar conversation going forward in the season. But Caitlin, again, congratulations on second place, and good luck to you going forward. I believe our next race, give me one moment here, is at Richmond on April 25th for the Richmond 200. So good luck to you there if you happen to find yourself there, and hopefully we can have this conversation a couple more times throughout the season, eh?
Hopefully, and thanks.
Absolutely, Caitlin. Thank you for coming up here. All right, folks, Caitlin Height out of the booth here, taking home second place in the 18 machine. Up next, Nick Nickerson in the number 2 machine, taking home the win here tonight. Nick, do you have a read?
Hey, I got you, man.
Nick, what a phenomenal job tonight, man. Nick, the first thing that I want to touch on here, towards the beginning of the race, it was Howie Briss. It seemed like it was Howie Briss, right? And out of nowhere, it seemed like here comes the number 2 machine, and right after that, it just seemed like it was Nick Nickerson all the way. Nick, what happened? It seemed like kind of halfway towards the race, you just kind of hit the switch on your car, and it was away you went. What led to your success? Sorry.
Yeah, man. Just in the beginning of the race, the guy qualified third, and I was trying to make the passes early on. Ashley, and I'm sure Howie would have been the same way, but they were adamant about keeping their position. So I kind of let off after a couple tries to get past Ashley, and I was gonna, all right, let me see if I can save the tires more than she can, and I think eventually it paid off. I forget what lap, but eventually I was able to kind of actually get past her, and then there was one restart. I think it was after we got tires. There was one restart where I don't even know how I did it, but I was able to get past Howie. Just got a massive run on the backstretch, and I got a nose in on him, and I was pretty much I was gone from there. I was able to click off solid laps every lap, not burn my tires off, and how I was able to take away this win with 75 lap older tires than some of the other guys in the field, I have no idea, but I consider myself incredibly lucky.
And Caitlin Height, she also said the same thing. It takes a little bit of luck here at Martinsville, and I think I have to agree with that. Martinsville, definitely one of those tracks that you can't exactly come into it expecting to walk away with a win. Martinsville just not always the best track to have that mentality in. But Nick, you said it yourself. Once you were able to get around Howie, you were just hitting your marks time and time again. And I want to ask you about that. What was it kind of like before and after being behind Howie Briss and after getting around him? What do you think do you think it changed your race pace, having that clean air in front of you versus having another driver or multiple in front of you?
Yeah, I don't know if there's physics-wise if it's any different. I mean, if it is, I can't really feel it. It could be just a mental thing of not having to worry about running into a car in front of you, so I could just kind of really throw it in there, so to speak. I mean, you don't want to do it too much and burn your front tires off, but and what really helps is just having a nice gap to where, you know, I don't have to worry about defending the inside lane going into a corner. You know, I can take like kind of a little bit of a wide approach to the corner, so to speak, for like a late apex out. So that kind of helped with maintaining my lap speeds and whatnot. But yeah, man, I mean, it's just I don't know what else to say to it other than that. It was just I was fortunate enough to have the speed and the luck to walk away with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely seemed like I even mentioned it with our two other drivers here that I was uncertain as far as who was going to come home with the win tonight. It just seemed like it was all over the place. But Nick, able to take home the win here tonight. What are your thoughts going into the next race at Richmond?
Richmond's, man, you know, I like Richmond. I think it's a fun track. I think I got some good speed out of there. We'll just have to see. It's probably going to be more of the same thing here. Maybe not as bad as far as yellows. It's a little bit wider of a track, but you know, Richmond has good opportunity for dive bombing and crazy maneuvers, and it'll burn your tires off if you're not careful. So, and a lot of people slap in, you know, turn 2 wall on exit. It's going to be a wild race. Yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it here as well. But Nick, I want to thank you for coming up here in the booth first of all, and congratulate you on taking home the win here for the Old Dominion 250. But before I let you go and celebrate and crack one open, is there anyone watching the broadcast, anyone in the pit crew, or anyone at home that you want to shout out for your win here tonight?
Man, I just gotta thank everybody for watching, and everybody that participates in this league. Tony for all he does to get this going, and Mason, man, I appreciate you doing the broadcast. Look forward to watching this one.
Absolutely. Well, it was a pleasure having you up here in the booth, Nick, and I hope to have a similar conversation with you in going forward in the season.
Hey, me too, man. I'll catch you later.
Absolutely, Nick. You have a great night.
You too.
Alrighty, folks. Nick Nickerson, our race winner for race number 9 of the 2022 Velocity Racing League Cup Series. That is going to conclude our coverage of tonight's race of the Old Dominion 250. And I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching. It's been an absolutely phenomenal race here at Martinsville, and I hope that you all tune in April 25th for the Richmond 200. Same time, same place, right here on Team Goon Squad. My name is Mason Heimbaugh with Team Goon Squad, bringing you the action here tonight, and to say good night and farewell. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.
Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona's a Kingwood is out.